Are we back? We're back! I don't have an Ethernet cable, Eric. I use Wi-Fi. What happened there, and I know exactly what happened because it happens way too much. The YouTube primary server just went down. So I'm now streaming to the backup. So I don't know how much you missed. We've made a folder for Field 49 here in Courseplay. We've generated the course. Let's just say this is called to plow. My jig. Here we go. You starting from the first waypoint, please. Doing silage on Field 49, bad idea. I think it's just generally a bad idea to do silage on this map. It's not grass silage, honestly. But you'll definitely get a BGA silo out of it. Drive the course, please. In the meantime, up I'm on the seat. It's not too hot here. It's like very warm. I'm not gonna say that it's not warm. Which one of these is the barley field? Field 28 is the barley field. So let's do the barley field. Hello, Kai. How am I? Annoyed with YouTube as always. And I forgot to do the thingy with my wheel. So my wheel decides every time that I plug it in that it needs to have 100% center spring. I like, for Farm Sim, having 31% center spring. There's a bit of a disagreement there. Hello, Alexander Gemhead. Or Gemhead, whichever. There's a bit of a disagreement there, and it's an instant I can tell when that happens. Hello, Stu. I need to unfold the two harvest. Oh! The harvester was partially folded, and the header was partially folded. Oh no, it wasn't. What on earth? Okay, now I can lower the header, and hopefully drive in the correct direction. Who's that? Because I don't have stream labels open at the moment. Maxim629, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse. Hope you enjoy your stay. Just lost 34 hours of a save game. As much as that sucks, it happens. Farm Sim has a habit of corrupting save games periodically, and it sucks when it happens, but it happens. And it's usually not really Farm Sim's fault. It's usually a mod or something that you're using that's decided to eat things that it shouldn't be eating, but it's a hungry boy, and it eats until it kills your game. Hey Dave, do I know any Discord bots? Yeah, Septipus. That's what I'm using. Look in my Discord sim. I've got Septipus announcing my my streams. It's free as well. There was now LiveBot, but that's like a subscription premium service now, and no thanks. Must be one hungry boy. It is one hungry boy. It is a thick boy. It is a hungry boy. It is an eaty boy. It ate all the eats, so that it ate too much. Is the slider sold yet? Nope. Hope autosave becomes a feature in FS19. It should already be without a mod. Here's the funny thing, Millennium. It was a feature in FS13. Autosave used to be a thing. And Giants removed it because, being very blunt, it just janks the game up every so often. I think there's a way to turn on autosave in like your game settings, but it's almost just as easy to just get a mod for it. Because you gotta go into dev tools and dev mode and all this XML kind of stuff, and it's a bit of a pain, so it's just easier to get a mod like game extension for autosave. And it is in multiplayer as well, yes. And you'll find in multiplayer, if you play a lot of multiplayer, you'll get periodic janks where the game just shoots down to like 3 FPS. That's autosave. Hello, Archie. That's just like, I think that's the reason the Giants got rid of it, because there's a lot that needs to be saved when the game is saved. And the 2 or 3 seconds of jank that you get is the result of it having to save all that information. So yes, I'm going to defend Giants on that bit of jank. And the kind of jank that autosave isn't in the game by default. Ah, that tea is still very hot. That's taller than me, and me tall. Most things are taller than me. The joys of being 5'8". Everything is taller than you, so the world seems that much bigger. It is, you have to turn on via console. Yeah, so you gotta go into DevTools and stuff. So like I said earlier, it's easier to just use the autosave mod or game extension or something like that. Because you don't have to use the DevTools. I'm harvesting the field. I got the silage on. The silage isn't even sold yet. I am. Yes, that is true, Adam. You're 6 foot tall and only 12. I'm 26, and I'm 5'8". I am one short boy. I am a short, rotund boy. Like if I was you know the way people say, "Oh, are you in shape?" Yeah, you should be in shape. I am in shape. That shape happens to be a sphere. But I am in shape. Technically. Or I guess technically an oblate spheroid, but still. I like the news in the dev blog. Yes. Hello, Dan. There wasn't anything really new there that I could tell. It it was kind of mainly information that was kind of broken from FarmCon, but it's interesting to see. I guess the devs take on the new building system, because that was written by the devs themselves. I was wrong in the video where I said it was written by Lars, aka Lizardhan. It is written by the devs. Lars just does the German translation. Because believe it or not, despite Giants being a German company, they speak in English with each other. Hello, Silver. You drove a T7 from a cab that wasn't on the tractor remote control. Very cool. I've not been in or really near a tractor in quite a while. Hello, Martin, as well. How you doing? Barn Lodge, hello. Hopefully, by the way, the server swap for YouTube on YouTube will fix the problem. Thought Giants was officially yes, but their main office is in Germany. They're officially a Swiss company. They're legally a Swiss company, but they are in reality based in Germany. It's kind of like saying eBay is an American company when one of their biggest offices is actually in Dublin, and Facebook too, and Google. They've all got big bases in Dublin. In Ireland. They're technically and legal. I see you moving, tractor. Don't think I don't see that. Look, the tractor's moving ever so slowly around the hitch because the weight of the trailer's increasing. That's my question too, Foxtrot, is how exactly will mapping work with the new system in place? Forgot to increase the minimum notification level, or decrease it, I guess. It's only because land and labor is cheap. No, Stu, there is actually a legitimate reason. to go to Ireland for an American tech company, and it's very simply that Ireland is a very educated workforce. We speak English, we're in the EU, and we're as close as you can get to America without being in America. We're the first protocol that's English speaking in Europe from America. That's why so many American companies have bases in Ireland. It's just convenience. Hello, Josh. How are you doing today? And comically, wages in Ireland are higher than they are in the UK, so kind of ruins your cheap labour argument. He says looking for jobs in the UK because they're easier to find. Etc. What's so true, Martin? I was up on a stand, there was a cab next to which controls the tractor, you know how to drive a T7, you turned the key, felt like a badass, bit bigger than a 135, yeah. Did we all hear the news last night, actually, about Peter J's new mods? The not a 388 as it turns out. How's the cost of living in Ireland compared to the UK? Astronomical. Do you hear the news? Did we all hear the news about Peter J's new mods last night? 148 and a 253. I guess everybody misread the little teaser you put out. Added all three numbers together instead of just adding 13 to both. It does look like he's using basically the same model as he did for the 135 and the 240. I'm gonna move the camera down just a skosh. There we go. It looks like he's using basically the 135 and 240 models. Just with kind of, I guess, horsepower updates and stuff. So I'm looking forward to them. I'm really looking forward to more old timer equipment. Stuff the game really needs. And there are whispers and rumours I hear of more old timers potentially coming in FS19, which would be amazing. I really want more old timer stuff. Want classic equipment so much. It's just, it's missing from the game right now. So I'm hoping on launch day we'll see lots and lots of small old timer equipment. How many juices do I have? I mean, too many. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 mugs and 2 plates. And I'm gonna be honest, my mother's been sick lately, and I've been eating up here. I usually eat up here anyway, but I've been eating up here. I went down yesterday after the stream, got a takeaway, and literally just kind of ran up here because I didn't want her feeling sick from the smell. How am I? I'm doing good. I'm doing good indeed. Just working away on the farm. Please don't fill up at the worst possible time here, John Deere. Because I'm gonna need space to put the tractor in between you and whatever is beside you. What did I get from the takeaway? Do you remember the delicious chicken I had last week? That I just kept saying was delicious? That's chicken goujons, as it turns out. I got that again because it was tasty delicious. Hello, Rebel Candy. Let's go get the tractor, which is over here. This tractor, I'll be honest, is probably a bit too small for the auger wagon, but it works. And that's the main thing. There's not much space for bales on this map. I think there's plenty of space, Massey. It just might be the case that you gotta cart bales around the map a bit more than maybe you're used to. I have upgraded my setup. What do you mean? I've had this setup basically since Lono came out. I've not really upgraded it too much. Other than, and did I need to make them cold this time? No, they were piping hot. They literally came in the door from the takeaway and they were up here in my mouth, being eaten. You like maps with little storage? I like maps that are kind of a mix. Sometimes I want more storage, sometimes I want less. But you can make use of most maps in most ways. It's just a case of really figuring out what the optimal way to use the map is. Them chips. They come with chips, yes. It's like a little snack box with goujons and chips, and it's delicious. So I need to fit the tractor in here somehow. This isn't gonna fit. Okay, maybe if I... Please. Okay, this'll work. Just had a live stream as an ad. That shouldn't be possible. Since you have seen it, I've had that combine since I started Lone Oak and the tractor as well. The only equipment upgrade I have is actually in Field 45 at the moment. Hey, James D. So the plan here is we're going to unload into the Wilson, and once we fill up, it's not if, it's when we fill up the storage silo at the main yard, we're going to... It's the money truck. Once we fill up the storage at the main yard, we're going to basically just straight sell the barley, because that truck does not like tip anywhere. It gets very stuck. Very stuck, indeed. So let's lower down the pipe a bit. There we go. We can fill that up. In the meantime, drinking tip water, wearing a tip jersey. Very nice, bucko. You mean my computer stuff? How long has it been since you've last seen? Because I've not upgraded any of my PC setup in... Well, that you guys can see in, what, 2 years? Like, I've upgraded the case and the cooling, but you guys can't see that. I've also got a fan set beside me right here, just out of shot. That is really nice, just breezing onto me. And is basically going to be on for the summer. So maybe the case that I'm able to... all PC stuff has to be black. Did you mean the stream overlay? Because that I have upgraded, like, fairly recently. In terms of, like, actual physical PC stuff, I've not upgraded anything in months. I can't afford to. I've also, I guess, fairly recently upgraded my music setup because I'm now using Pretzel, which is free, and there will be some extra stuff coming down the line once Pretzel gets it implemented into YouTube, just to allow me to use it for free. Your PC is black and orangey red. Mine is black with a blue LED that just beams out of it. It's hilarious. Do I have any lights on my PC? Like I've just said, there's I think it's my... What's causing the blue? It's I think it's the cooler has this ridiculous blue LED on it. It's just, I can see it under my desk if I look down just this blue aura around my computer. It's been a few months since you got a stream. It's probably the overlay I meant then. And I guess the keyboard. Irish themed PC be sick. What? Cooled by Guinness and whiskey and put together with sellotape. It would be very sick, because it wouldn't work. Oh! Another thing, there is an update coming for Lone Oak. BulletBill put out the changelog, was it yesterday? He's fixing the sheep, which do have a habit of flying. He's fixing the pig manure, which apparently can occasionally spawn a bit weird. And increasing the silo size up to 250,000 litres. Now, I personally won't be downloading the update. I will do a small tweak to the map to suit something else. But that's going to be it. It's going to be so tiny you guys won't even notice it. Orange, white, green. Guinness looking cool in Clover fans. Oh my god. Very hyped for Shamrock. I'm hyped for Shamrock too. I'm really looking forward to having a go on that map. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to love it. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. Once Shamrock comes out, that's probably going to be the only map I play for the remainder of S17. I'll be very honest. Because I want to play it in an Irish way and with equipment that I see a lot. Will I stream it if I get it early? About Shamrock Valley? Absolutely. If Oxygen David allows me, I will stream it the second he gives permission. Great points I have. That was just me thinking of, like, reading through it a few times and thinking of, like, what are the logical questions from that devlog. How's things? Things are good. Am I a tester? For Shamrock? I've offered my help for just making sure the Irish elements of it are correct, yes. Why did I not stream Lone Oak? I got that early. Because BulletBill said no. You guys don't realize this, but like, there's a lot of stuff that myself, Landy, and Sim might get very early, but be told by whoever makes the map or the mod or whatever, oh, don't use this until this point. And it's kind of like a request thing, but it is in effect for us. It's their map. They dictate to us how they want to present it, how they want it covered, what they want done with it. Especially in the pre-release, they tell us what to do. We just present the map to you guys. What is my favorite thing coming in FS19? Can I just say like immersion? Which I know is a very nothing answer, but that's true as well, VF. But it's their map, and they want it presented a certain way, and they'll ask us to present things a certain way and show off certain stuff, and we're gonna listen because we want the map to succeed every bit as much as they do. Because like, first and foremost, and some of you guys know this, some of you guys might not. Both BulletBill and Oxygen David, I'm gonna use these two as an example because I speak to them. They're both just nice guys. They're both very likable people, very friendly, very fun to chat with, very knowledgeable, and they're just nice guys, and you want them to do well. Who's subscribed, by the way? Dre Johnson, thank you very much for subscribing. I didn't miss that. I have stream labels open so I can see a little ticker underneath my stream, but you guys can't. Thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse. Hope you enjoy your stay. My worry about FS19 is the difficulty. What happens if I want to start as a farm manager without a crap ton of lobe? I'm not sure what you mean by lobe. I'm trying to think of what autocorrect could have changed to lobe, and I can't think of it. How am I? I'm good. I'm good. I'm tired. Real talk for a second. I went to bed at like 6 o'clock this morning. Like I usually do. Money. Okay. Loan. Ah. I went to bed at like 6 o'clock this morning because I basically, like, my life runs on Eastern Standard Time in the US. So I went to bed at 6 this morning, which is 1 AM Eastern, which is a relatively okay time to go to bed. For Eastern Standard Time, anyway. And I woke up at 10 o'clock this morning. So I'm running on, like, no sleep. But the show must go on, and I must be happy. And I have a cup of tea, so everything's fine. Adventure start should be appropriate to the start level. Yeah, I think the lone... Giants know what they're doing. They've made farms sim plenty of times before now. They know what they're doing at the lone. They know what they're doing at the difficulty levels. I'm interested in seeing a bit more detail about these realism options that were kind of mentioned in passing for the start from scratch start option. I want more detail on these realism options. I want all of them on all the time. Because as much as I like derping about in the game and breaking things, I do actually quite like having the realistic physics to break. But that's kind of, you know, as silly as I am and as dumb as I am, one of them would crop destruction. Oh god. Can I turn that off, please? Unless they've completely overhauled crop destruction to the point where it's not as stupid as it currently is, and I am adamant that the current crop destruction is just stupid. It's not an intelligent system. If they've overhauled it to be more intelligent, then I'm fine with it. But if it still is as stupid as it currently is, I'll be turning that off. They haven't. Oh, it's just... like, with the new crop bending mechanic, okay, here's my full thoughts on how crop destruction should be implemented in FS19, regardless of how it is implemented. With the new crop bending mechanics, it should be linked to that, where, like, you define where the wheels are and it just knocks a hole the size of the wheels, or just lays the crop flat. Because if they've got the crop bending, it means they've got a very basic 3D model. They can lay that down flat. And that'd be a lot more realistic than it magically becoming, like, cultivated or harvested. And yeah, I was talking to Sim just before the stream. There are mesh grills now with animated engine parts in FS19 that he forgot to mention, and apparently VF did too. In all of their coverage of FarmCon, I get to break this news. Mesh grills and animated engine parts are a thing in FS19. So a lot more detail in the tractor models. Oh, Queevy. I did see your message about Fortnite, and the answer is no, I'm not playing Fortnite. Crop destruction and grass. Yeah, I'm with you there, Ernie. It does. That's why I think it's a silly system. I'm doing spraying the tramlines need to look great or hard. It depends on what tires you got on. Do you think there were any hints of John Deere before E3? Drum lover. Giants were at Agritechnica earlier this year, and they were doing, I can't remember what they were doing there, but they were doing something sponsored by John, something where they were giving away a model tractor. That model tractor was a John Deere. That model tractor that was a John Deere was sponsored by John Deere. Their stand had John Deere logos everywhere because they were sponsored by John Deere at Agritechnica. Not only did people, including me, write that off as, oh well, they're only sponsoring the models. Giants did it too. So, you know, everybody got cut out by Giants trolling. They hid it in plain sight, Drum Lover. Like, they literally hid John Deere right in front of us. And nobody really noticed because we all wrote it off as, oh well, they're just sponsoring the toys. They're just sponsoring the little toy tractors they're giving away. It's meaningless. Doesn't mean John Deere's coming into the game. John Deere will never be in Farm Sim. Oh, John Deere in Farm Sim. Why did no one believe it? Because John Deere were the impossible brand. As far as anybody knew. You'd have heard me and Landy saying John Deere will never be in Farm Sim. Never. As much as Landy wanted it, and as much as I guess I wanted it for variety, it was just never going to happen. It was just, you know, John Deere, the rumor was they wanted too much money, they wanted brands taken out, they wanted exclusivity, they wanted this, they wanted that. And it was just kind of, everybody wrote it off. Because it was the impossible brand. It was the brand that was never going to be in Farm Sim. I did hear that story, VF. Yes, Sim has told me that story. Wasn't John Deere suing Giants? That was JCB, Millennium. JCB did have, I believe, back in FS13, some issues with Giants having JCB mods. Hopefully the hard help will get a bit smarter. I've heard they've completely reworked the hard worker system. I can't remember who said it to me, but I know that it was somebody that I would trust to know that stuff. It may have been... I don't think it was somebody within Giants, but I think it was somebody who'd spoken to Giants. And been told that. So, spoken to somebody within Giants, I guess. So of phrasing that. So the hired workers will basically be a lot smarter. The mission system is being completely reworked. I guess I can kind of say that's what Rakin, who you guys might know from Seasons, that's what he's been working on. You heard they had VF, how do I say this in a way that nobody's gonna know who I'm talking about? There's no way to say it. Yas, no, VF Yas has been saying that the hired workers are completely changed. At least that's what I've been hearing. And he's been saying that in the Slack as well, so I would be tending to agree with that. But he's not working on that section of the game. But that's what he's been saying at the very least. You could probably ask him, I mean. I'm fairly sure if you asked him a straight up question, you'd probably get an answer from him. Uliki, story of Seasons in FS19. Seasons will not be in FS19 by default. That is 100% confirmed. There is no default Seasons in FS19. Basically, Giants did want it in. But basically, Seasons came too late in the dev cycle because it's something that have to basically rewrite the game for. The way that it works currently in FS17 is very much, and I mean this in the nicest possible way to Realism's modding, because all mods are like this. The way that Seasons works in FS17 is a hack job. They've bodged it together, and it somehow managed to work. Because it's a load of systems that, in theory, and this is even going through from Giants themselves, Seasons mod is a bunch of stuff that shouldn't work in Farm Sim. And that's not, like, from a sheer gameplay point of view. I'm talking mechanically. Some of that stuff Giants had ruled impossible. Just not doable in the game engine. And the Realism guys managed to budget together somehow to become the Seasons mod, and that's why. And it's not the full Realism's team, Rudiki, it's just Rakin got hired by Giants. And he's been working very hard on his projects. One thing I like about Seasons is you don't get half a field on one stage and half on another. That is very much true. Snow is raining straw. No! Snow in Seasons is defined as snow. It is snow. It's not a retexture of straw. I think the snow... You know, you can like crush down the snow in Seasons. I think they're using the and if anybody from Realism is here, number one, hello, great mod. Number two, correct me if I'm wrong. The way that the snow crushes down and the like the snow track mechanics, that is from chaff. And you know, the way chaff works in a silo, that's the way that the snow works. And I think most of that's based around chaff and that kind of stuff. But it is snow. It is a, technically speaking, a fill type in its own right. It used to be the case, and you are correct in the past in FS15 and going back, that the snow maps were actually just hay everywhere. Snow with some retextured pigs. Do you think you'll be able to see AI tractors? I don't know. I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that there would be, you know, visible work on the tracts of land that you don't own. But I don't know how that would work. And I'd like to think, and I forgot to mention this in the video, that the prices will be based on, I would guess, like how much workable land is in an area. So we'll say if an area is primarily logging, it'll be maybe a bit cheaper. If an area is maybe a bit more built up, it'll be really cheap. 100% not tractors. Oh! But that's the way that I personally would envision the tract of land purchasing system working, is that the more field area you have and the more workable area, the more expensive the area is going to be, especially if it's a particularly large area. But, you know, you might get an area so small that it's just a single field. The old, well, I guess, I'm going to call it old, it's the current style of one field per purchasable area is still, I guess, doable in FS19. It's just that I think a lot more map makers, especially BulletBill and Auction David, will probably move to the tract of land system because it's just more realistic. It's what happens in reality. Is you don't buy individual fields, you buy, you know, 500 acres of land, and that could be 2 fields that are both really big, or 17 fields that are all really small. I am very much in favour of the new system and the new land method they're going with in FS19. I'm very much a fan. Hello, Bradley. How you doing today? What about a crash realism option? I want a crash like unrealism option where when you crash into things, both things just flip madly outside the map. Only limitations, you can't buy half of it. Well, yeah. But I would be able to change the ground textures from the yards. You probably won't, James. Can I give an example of attractive land on this map? Sure. Let's just stop the combine here real quick. So on this map, let me look at the map real quick. So I would consider attractive land here. Maybe fields 2, 3, 4, and 5 would be attractive land. Field 1 in this little forest over here that you can't see. Okay, I'm going to go for a better example. Does this have IC? This doesn't have IC. Hang on, I'm going to tap to something with IC so I can use my mouse. So fields 2, 3, 4, and 5 up the top would be a tract of land. Fields 6, 7, 15, 16, 17 would all be one tract of land. This area here between these two roads, between this road here and the little one going off over down here, I would consider a tract of land. These two fields would be a tract. And then it would get kind of confusing in here. Maybe one tract would just be this forest, this kind of central forest, and these fields. Another would be these fields here and this forest. The 30, 35, 44, 45, and the forest there. Behind, like just before 36 and 37 be a tract. It's just kind of a mix-up of different areas of land. From my understanding, will the individual fields have defined numbers? I don't think they would, because the numbering system... Oh, they will, okay. I was gonna say that the numbering system is basically just the method by which you buy the fields. Because it's just kind of an offshoot that, because you've got to define each field individually in Farm Sim, they're by their very nature numbered, and it's just a convenience that the numbers can be assigned to the fields in the map as well. Hello Aiden Faze, how are you doing today? Field depths will still be a thing. VF, genuine question, have they changed how those damn things work? Because I hate the rectangle method. How do you change the ground texture? Which has nothing to do with buying them. Oh, it'll be for missions only then. Have they changed how they... Still 3. Oh, for the love of crap! That's the one thing that mappers actually wanted changed. When's the Sandy Bay Challenge coming back? It's not, James. I'm really sorry. The Sandy Bay Challenge isn't coming back for a very simple reason, and that is, it basically turned into Silage Simulator. Because I figured out that silage was a bit of an exploit in the way that I made the rules. And the rest of that map was basically going to be me doing silage constantly. Ground textures purchased in squares. Honestly, it would... for me at least, be easier for me to just go into G and retexture the ground. But it does seem to be giants moving towards, and I don't know if I like this or not. Moving towards, maybe even getting rid of G and having the maps directly editable in game. Which might put some limitations on what can be done to maps. It might limit things even further than they currently are or have been in the past, and I don't know if I like that. You like auto mode, but you can't use courseplay because no numbers in the field. Well, Millennium, I have a very special surprise for you. If you go into this method, this window here, you'll see calculate current field's edge path. If you click that, it will draw a line around the edge of the field as courseplay sees it. You number those fields yourself, and remember what number corresponds to which field. You can courseplay any map in the world, no matter what it is, whether or not it's got full defs, no defs, half defs. So very easy to get things working in courseplay now, especially with the new terrain systems from FS17, the way the grass works now, in theory. So maybe terrain shaping. I can see them making that a thing, though. I don't know. I also think they'll make it so that the water plane is just always like at a certain level under a map. Yes, I think they might be similar reasons to why I'm very interested in the mapping the technicalities of mapping. Hello, Witchy. Do the sanity challenge. It'd be just me playing Farm Sim casually. It'd be great if you could send workers to sell products. Yeah, But that's what a lot of people use Courseplay for. The traffic. They're not bringing back the FS13 traffic, and that really, really makes me sad, because that was, I genuinely believe, the best traffic farm sim ever had. The way the traffic works now is too solid. Hello, Dal. British farmers, hello, I didn't see you there. I'm constantly getting wedged in between, because, like, especially on this map, I'll be driving around with the truck, it'll jackknife because I've done something dumb, and then a pickup will just ram into the trailer, and oh look, I'm stuck now. Hello, Mossy. That's the single most annoying thing about FS17 traffic. It's why I've got it turned off now on Lone Oak. It irritates me. It's not fun to play with traffic on. For me, at least. And I wish it was. I wish the traffic was good. I wish the traffic was at least vaguely realistic. But it's just blind people ramming things at speed while driving magnetized concrete blocks of some description. You've been here from the start. Well, somehow, some way, somehow, British farmers, I've missed every message you put in chat, and I'm sorry for that. One of those days where I'm blind. I should probably be wearing my glasses, but I can't be bothered. There's something else I wanted to talk about and I can't remember. Oh, yes! I remember now. Did you guys know? I've known for a little while, I've kind of been looking forward to it coming out. Did you guys know that BulletBill was actually interviewed by the Guardian newspaper recently? The article he was interviewed for was actually released today. It's on the Guardian's website. And there's a link to it in BulletBill's on BulletBill's Facebook page even. It's actually quite a good read. They interviewed BulletBill as well as Nick Welker. So it's kind of the American view of things and the UK and Ireland view of things. That's really interesting. A tiger shouldn't be stopped dead by a pinto. Like, that happens, British farmers. Like, sometimes I look at chat and I just don't see people. People misused it. I.e. having fun, BF. Is it about modding? No, it's about just farm sim in general. It's a really interesting read. Like, the reason... It's farmers who play farm sim, and it's conveniently BulletBill and Nick Welker. Speak of the devil, hello Bill, I was just talking about the your interview. Do you feel famous yet? You just put them in the side of traffic and backed it. I think everybody did dumb stuff with the traffic, but it was just dumb stuff that everybody did. It was fun. Like, yes, it was misusing the traffic mechanics, but it was fun. There was something... There was... It's online only, you bought it? Oh. Oh, dear. Yeah, I think it's a really good article, really good article person, Bill. Really good article person. I'm gonna have some tea and let my brain catch up to what my mouth wants to say. Jason Langness, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse, hope you enjoy your stay. What interview are we talking about? The interview BulletBill had with The Guardian. Doing good with the English, yes. I'm doing good with the reading too, apparently. It's not your type. Thing is like, even maps that aren't my style, usually I'll look at them and I'll say, it's not my style, but oh my god, is this technically look really good. Link, if somebody has the link, Bill probably does, bookmarked, so you can look at his face in the newspaper again. It's on Bill's Facebook, for sure. El Devo, just speak el Spanisho. Dos cervezas, por favor. Yeah, complete with BulletBill face reveal. That said, it's a really good picture of you, Bill. You look really happy, overly happy. You were clearly just watching one of my streams in the background while that picture was taken. But for anybody who's interested in I'm trying to think of the words. Dave, use your words. If for anybody who's interested in like Nick Welker's take on Farm Sim and the Welker Farms map, and some of the stuff that maybe you guys don't know about BulletBill and or Nick Welker and their views on stuff, that article, that interview is a really good read. Am I drunk? No, I'm tired, Dan. I don't English when I'm tired. Why didn't they put that in the paper? BulletBill face reveal. I wonder how many people are like seeing that picture and thinking, huh, I wonder what BulletBill looks like. Not putting two and two together and realizing it is you. Do I speak England? No. Ooh. Ooh. Nope, back a bit, back a bit. There we go. Realism. Realistic grain handling physics. I wouldn't say handsome. I'd say happy. Because apparently you paid him quite a lot. What is the tractor? Green. Do I speak Irish? Cunaspor Calimpania. You did get a Beard Appreciation Society comment. A good beard is the best kind of beard to have, to be fair. And that is a good beard. Hello, definitely not Asthmatic Hedgehog. The FS17 Beer Club. That is a strange thing that so many people who are involved with Farm Sim have beards. I don't know why, it's just kind of a thing. It's just... Are we all just that lazy that none of us can be bothered to properly shave? Genuinely, Bill. I was in the stream when Sim's face reveal happened. It was literally lol, Sim's got a ginger beard. Drink my beer all the time. I do it like once every couple of months. Once it gets like so long that it's getting close to that point, actually. I'll just trim it down with an electric razor and just be like, done. I genuinely did not sim. I was the one that started the jokes about your face breaking the stream because it kept going down. And the 10th bail meme that managed to break out on Saturday. I did not start the Sim as a ginger beard meme. You're not allowed to have a beard. Oh god, Sim sent me something. This better not be abusive, Sim. That was abusive. I did not need to know that. Oh dear. I'd get like Turkish shaves and... Yes, he did, Dan. I can forward it on to you if you want. I mean... If you want to know what he sent me, I can send it on to you. Or Sim could probably send it himself. Pedro, no, Pedro, no. I know what you sent to Sim. No. Send a picture. He actually did TMCC, and that's why it's abusive, because that is a horrifically bad ginger beard. My phone's just got... Has Pedro sent me a picture? Also didn't need to know that. Sim's just inundating with me with like things I don't need to know and that aren't in any way important enough for me to be distracted from the stream. What's everyone takes the devlog? I want more info. That's my take. I want to know. I want Giants to expand on the difficulty settings because I'm really interested in the hardcore setting. I'm really interested in knowing if even on the hardcore setting, map makers can make it so that you own like a specific tract of land. So that I think I used you as an example, Bill. Like Cobra and Oakfield as examples. So that like you and Oxy can build a main yard and have just the one main yard. And that's the tract of land you own. There's like the main yard and maybe like a field beside it. You own... Yes, but I'm wondering if map makers can make it so that like that's not a tract of land you can even own. That it's just... I didn't notice that actually, Bill. CASP. Enjoy your sleep. You sent me something. I'm not looking at my phone again. We're not having another Dave looks at his phone stream, guys. Where can you find the blogs? Well, I put up a video, Glengar, where I read it out. Alternatively, check Giants or the Farm Sim Facebook page. Because before I started recording, I made sure that I wasn't trying to record on the wrong day. I wasn't going to put it up like a day early and screw everything up. You can define which land is purchasable. Ah, sweet. So, yeah, my idea would still work. Because you could just set the yard, the main yard is unpurchasable, so you own it from the beginning. Because that was a concern I had, was that it would basically be... And it does seem like this is the way Giants are going, like the hardcore mode, for the most part, will just be blank map simulator. Which... It's going to be very boring at the start of the series for people who are using the hardcore mode. Which I'm going to do like at least some videos in that mode just to experiment with it and try it out and see what it's like and see how it works for YouTube. I guess it's kind of my idea there. Yeah, UK maps are kind of forgotten by Giants there. I think that's a bit of a shame. Because it might just be my taste in maps, but I always find that UK maps are just made to a higher standard than... I'm not overlooking you British farmers. I always find the British maps are just made to a higher standard of quality and technical ability almost than the European maps. Just my own personal opinion, yours will differ, yours will be different more than likely, but that's just how I see things. It's like, I look at the European maps and like there's so much stuff that just is there with no collisions because you know, that's the map maker's decision. But it's just, meh. I've ignored pretty much everybody in chat at one point or another, British farmers. When chat's moving like today, I try and keep it moving as much as I can, because I like when chat's moving. That's the thing, is like, you're gonna have to have basically what would normally be a field dedicated to being, I guess, a secondary yard. Almost. I didn't see you again, Yusto. Hello. Hope you can lock gates multiplayer. That'd be nice. I hope, and this is... It'll lead to a new way of mapping. Yeah, but I'm concerned that it will lead to the death of DEM mapping. It'll lead to the death of maps... potentially lead to the death of maps like Colborough, like Oakfield, like Lone Oak. Because if it's expected of mappers that they have empty yards, there's not going to be a new Colborough. Realistically, you know, you're not going to be able to play on a real farm. You're going to have a farm that has no yard because that's the way the game mechanics have defined it. And I think that's a bit of a shame. Hello, Rory. But that's... It has... It definitely has potential to improve certain styles of maps, but I think DEMs are really... Ooh, that's a nice spider. DEMs are really being threatened by this new mechanic. I feel. I might be wrong. Like, that's just my initial opinion, just reading the devlog today, and the way things work. It could very much be a big threat to dem maps. I'm very much in your camp there, Bill. I'm sure Giants know what they're doing. I'm sure they're some of the buildings just need to be placeables. Yeah, but if they've got the 10-meter radius around them, that means the yards are still going to look very empty. That's the problem. And that's, I think, the weakness. Whinging and exactly, Bill. Personally, again, my own personal opinion here, I want to see maps with full build yards. I'm not good at making yards. I've learned this from my time in G. I'm not good at building yards. Not good at designing them. So I want mappers to give me the yard and I'll work with it how I see fit. You know, I'll work within the limitations the map makers set, because that is, at times, a challenge. But having, like, you know, that ridiculous... Yes, I remember that army assassin that needed like 100 bloody meters either way, and that I had to flatten an entire field on Thornton to fit in. Do you guys remember that, when I had to flatten a field in Thornton in GE and then get that working? Yeah, the scale in GE made it manageable, so it's not so big. Most people want pre-built yard. I don't know. I think people will want to play around with the new mechanics, and hopefully, maybe people will get bored of that by the time mod maps start coming out. I don't know. Look up BulletBill to make the new farmyard here. Well, movie guy, he had pretty much every part of that main yard custom made by Lone Wolf and Oxygen David. I think for the most part, maybe some other people were involved too, but I know for 100% it was Lone Wolf and Oxygen David made 90% of the unique models for Lone Oak specifically. This is true, VF, but there's going to be people who even at that will complain that you can't change the main yard. If they made it so the collisions on the ooh spider, please don't like climb on top of me, because that would be really like tickly and annoying. The possibilities are endless with the new mechanics, but I'm not 100% convinced by them. I like the idea of having that option. I don't like the idea that it's going to be potentially limiting mod maps as much as it might. Because one of my concerns is that, especially with the mod hub, the Giants will basically insist that all the placeables you have in your yard are going to be the Giants' default placeables. Which could mean you end up with a British farm, British everything, and then this really weird American yard, or like Southwestern European yard off to one side, because that's what the placeables are. And that's really my primary concern, is like that, you know, could really damage how maps look in a way. That BulletBill's kind of nailing the problem on the head there. Is like, I'm not looking at it from player's point of view, I'm looking at it from a mapper's point of view right now. Is if you release a map that doesn't have placeable everything, people are going to complain. And if the placeable everything has to be Giant's default placeable everything, the maps just won't look right, because you'll have a British map with American yards. And it's going to look silly, potentially. Like, it's a good idea in principle. In theory, it's really good. But if maps have to be released with the default placeables, they're going to look silly. They're going to look wrong and silly. That's another thing, Sim. Like, I really like the terrain deformation, because you can basically extend yards out into fields. That's one thing that I do like 100% about FS19's mechanics. I'm just concerned about how maps are going to look. Honestly, like that's my primary concern, is the ins and outs and technicalities of map making. Because that's actually one of the bits of the game that I find most interesting. Has that been... Why is that not available? Hang on. Something's not right. Oh, it was just borked. Okay. But I'm very interested in the technicalities of map making. It's why, honestly, I did my stream go down briefly there? Bill, my genuine advice to you is stop reading the messages. I know you'll miss people who want to thank you and whatnot, but if they want to thank you, they'll go out of their way to find a way to message you. Or they'll try and get a message through me, or Sim, or Landy, or whoever else. They'll find a way to get their thanks to you and various plaudits they want to give you. But people who want to troll will troll regardless. The only way to avoid those people is to just stop reading messages. And it sucks for the people. It sucks for the majority that want to send, you know, little quick thank you notes to you. Or have somebody like read messages for you and pre-screen the abusive ones. Can we adapt the building placeable or not in conjunction with the difficulty level? You can build, because that's actually an option already. I don't know if you knew this. Because this is something that who did it in the FSUK mod contest? It was the O'Brien Farms map. I don't know if you realize this. The O'Brien Farms map, or O'Brien's Farm, whatever it was, the American map that was unfortunately very rushed and very unfinished in the Mod Mania contest on FSUK, that actually had different vehicles for every difficulty level. And that's something that very, very few maps do. And I really wish more people did that. The setup BulletBill uses to make... It's amazing because BulletBill has to detach his legs every time he wants to do any mapping. And yeah, people will always find stuff to complain about. I know I do. And trolls will always try and ruin stuff. Because I do that as well. But yeah, for anybody who didn't know this and is interested in mapping, I did notice that, Bill, yes. Who didn't know this and is interested in mapping, you can actually have different sets of vehicles for each difficulty level. So I presume that in FS19 you can do the same. That they won't change that system. And you can have different placeables and different vehicles for different difficulty levels. You enjoyed it? I had a brief look at it when I was judging the maps, and I was very upset by it because it had so much potential and it was just so painfully rushed. It pains me when I see a map that rushed and that unfinished being out to the public, because it gives whoever made it a bad name. It always pains me. Because you can, in parts of that map, the released version, the V1, I'll want that as well, Bill, honestly. And I'll want it, quite frankly, I think I've said this on streams before, I want Cobra 19 to be rusted to crap just like in real life. Rusted, you know, true to life farm, because there's so few farms and maps that do that. And I'll be wanting pretty much the exact same setup if hardcore is at least doable on YouTube. You know, I'll be experimenting with it, but there's a lot that needs to be thought about with the hardcore mode, for sure. I honestly think just make the maps the same way you always have, because people can just use a field as a secondary yard. But I really think, and this is something that's I genuinely feel this is missing from a lot of maps, is weathered looking buildings. Just, I know a lot of maps, Cobra is fantastic as is, but it in a way feels too new and too clean, too fresh. And looking at the real Cobra, it's not clean and new and fresh. It's old and beaten down and rusted and messy and horrible. I love that in a map. I love, and this is this is maybe a contradiction. I love horrifically dirty, messy maps. Because they feel more true to life. Because, as like Adam said, some maps just feel like hospitals. They're too clean. They're too clinical. Lostburg is a very good example. It's just... Sim trying to cause trouble when I'm praising the map and saying it, that, you know, saying an improvement that I feel could be made. Which, by the way, guys, is how you're supposed to criticize things. Is like, this is really good, but it'd be better if this. Or I feel like this is missing. And sometimes you can edit that in yourself, and you shouldn't complain. Sometimes it's something that really has to be thought of at the beginning. Don't just abuse people because they've done something you don't like. How's that? Oh, that's full. So the rest of this barley is basically going to be put in the trailer, and hopefully that'll be it. Makes it feel like we're working for it. That's it. I like dirty, messy, filthy farms because they feel more real to me. Cobra feels real to me too. As does Lone Oak, as does Oakfield. But they're almost in spots definitely too clean. And I honestly think the worst culprits for this are Giants maps. They're just like Lostburg was a hospital. Giants maps tend to be clean rooms because they're very rarely cluttered to crap, and in reality, farms are cluttered to crap. That's my issue, Morton, is like that's a very big concern that I have, is like how will the likes of Oxy's and Bill's maps work in FS19? Why do I have country music on a dance playlist? Hello, SFTN. How you doing today, dude? Naves 115 had a really good take on the age. Yeah, that is for sure. Lancy's maps. Lancy Boy's maps. I always feel do aged and like aged, dirty, filthy, messy farms really well. He is fantastic with making yards. They have a habit of falling a bit short on other aspects, but his yards are fantastic feeling. Because you feel like you're actually standing in a farmyard, as opposed to with Giants maps and Lostburg, just really kind of hospital maps. Maplewood is released. It's on his Facebook page. I probably won't cover it on the channel because I don't want a trillion comments saying, when's it coming to console? And I mean no disrespect to Nancy by not covering it. He does, Bucko. I really feel like that's his biggest strength in mapping, is like he gives everything a really mucky, horrid, dirty feel, and it's wonderful. Usually they're words you use to criticize things. I'm using them as praise. Because it just feels right. Any farmyard you see images of, unless it's just been built, it's just horrible and mucky and cluttered and rusty, because it's the way farms are. If there's anything metal in a farmyard, it's probably rusting because there's probably manure on it somewhere. Like you look at the funky farmer. Pretty much, Bill. Your yards are horrible, dirty, and full of muck. I love it. It's a complete contradiction that only works when you're talking about farm sim, really. Because like, in a way, it's praise because like your farm feels lived in. It's horrible. It's dirty. It's mucky. It's a mess. Feels like a real farm to me. Ballincraig, Liam, I think went over the top with clutter. Again, it felt realistic, but I think it for the game was a bit too cluttered. That said, Ballincraig is a really nicely designed map. I do like it. It's just I don't play it because I don't like the yard, and I don't want to go into GE and redesign the yard entirely, just because it suits me more. I'd much prefer to just wait for Shamrock Valley to come out and play an Irish map that I know I'm gonna like, basically. And that I know from day one will not involve me needing to go into G and edit half the map. Which, if you like Ballincraig, that's your own personal opinion. I personally don't like it just because it's too tight and cluttered and it's very difficult to move around on. And I will openly admit, I am super picky with maps. I am stunningly picky. If there's like one little thing that I don't like, sometimes I just will say, nope, don't like it, don't. I like the new version. I may well do. That said, I'm looking forward a lot more to... Honestly, the only map that I'm really looking forward to that I know is coming out for FS17 is Shamrock Valley. I haven't really been following every map maker in the world or every whip topic on FSUK. I know there's tons of whip topics. I know Lytton Farm's coming out soon, and I am kind of looking forward to that. Louis sent me a whip version last night that had some big issues that I pointed out to him. But it does look very good, for sure. But definitely the only Irish map that I have ever looked forward to. This will give you an example of how picky I am. The only Irish map that I've ever thought, yes, this looks good, is Shamrock Valley. What wheel do I have? A Logitech G27. That's the version he sent this morning. I did not. I was busy talking to Sim on Discord. And I was busy just faffing about in general and getting my breakdown of the dev blog done and got all that kind of stuff done. So I've been kind of super busy this morning. This evening I want to do some iRacing. I want to do a few radical races because that's the only series that's interesting this week. Dusty's map is good too. Bessie Beneath is good, but he's having some issues with it. I'm not going to go into specifics, but he is having some major issues with Bessie Beneath at the moment that he needs to figure out a fix for before he can really proceed. Seabell, enjoy your tea. Mine will be ready probably quite soon, actually. My sister's making chicken curry. You cold brew both yes and no. Cold brew, but not as you know it. It's gonna be. I'm really looking forward to new cold brew. That is gonna be super interesting to play. 1-to-1 scale cold brew, real farm. Not the game, but the map. Real farm, the game, from what I've heard, isn't very good. Sim, I thought you were a vegetarian. Curry in this heat. I have a fan, Pedro. All is fine. Also, my sister makes very mild curry. She doesn't like spice, so it'll be a mild curry. Probably mango. Which, She's made it before, and it is really delicious. Yeah, you can have your corn fake chicken in the curry, Sim. I don't understand how people eat corn. It's fat on my insides to help cool me down. It'll be a mild curry. There'll be like no spice in it whatsoever. She does not like spicy food. It's great. It's great to see the return, and it's going to be great to see. Some people are probably going to take this one. It's going to be great to see BulletBill unleashed, truly, finally unleashed on Cobra in FS19. Hopefully, definitely with textures, because they've always been a limitation on every map. Every map maker that has ever made a map for Farm Sim has complained about the bloody texture limits. And now that they're gone, that's going to make things a lot more interesting for map makers. And it's basically unleashing them to do what they want. Pedro, I'm going to send you a quick message on Facebook. Thank you, Dan, by the way. Where's Pedro? Where's Pedro? Pedro. There you go. You had McDonald's last night. I had takeaway from the local chipper. It's delicious. It was the very delicious chicken goujons they have. Oh my god, they're so nice. Tacos was the best idea you had today. I prefer fajitas, personally. Tacos are great, but I prefer fajitas. I think the chicken goes better with the spices. You have an idea. What is your idea, Bucko? What is this fantabulous idea you have? I've got an idea too. Hired worker, go! There should be a tractor with a baler on the back somewhere. No, that's not it. I really need to pick this forklift up at some point. It shall not be now. Where did I put the tractor that has the baler? No, that's not a baler. That's a baler. I don't think Sim knew what was coming. He might have actually, because he knows what I sent. He knows the fun fact that I sent you. Baked enchiladas. I've never had enchiladas actually. I've had a burrito for breakfast before. That was delicious. Nothing quite like an actual burrito for breakfast. So once again, these bales are all going to be sold off because money. Ah yes, then Sim does know. I broke the bale sled. No. It says I've got 3 bales, but I've got 2. How did that happen? Excuse me, Mr. Simulate, I make fantastic pan-fried chicken. Yeah, Bradley's actually right. The bale sled is a bit borked because it's claiming I've got 3 bales on it, but I've actually got 2. Is it going to briefly say 4 when this happens? I don't know because it was covered up. How convenient. Seriously though, like, when I was in college, I just for a period when chicken was particularly cheap in the supermarket I went to, which I think was a Spar. I bought just like bits of chicken and yeah, just fried it up and that was my dinner. Just chicken. It was delicious. There were other days where pasta was super cheap for like a kilo, so I'd have just pasta. I'm not an inventive cook for the most part, but you know, cook. It was edible. I did not starve. When I was feeling particularly fancy, I'd make free bentos tin pies. Chicken. Pasta soup. Pasta's amazingly cheap. It's great. It's the student food of champions. Because you can get kilos of pasta super cheap. And all you need then is like a tin of sauce and you've got 3 servings ready to go. If you want sauce with your pasta. Or you can just have the pasta by itself. It's not, you know, the greatest tasting thing in the world, but if you put a bit of salt in it, it's actually quite nice. Especially if you cook it nice and al dente. Bit of crunch left in the pasta. Delicious. Just when you thought I couldn't cook. I'm like, oh yeah, I cook pasta this specific way. And almost perfectly by eye as well. I forgot that you could just use the hired workers, by the way. That was legitimately a thing I forgot. See if you have. You can get a manure sized bag of pasta for like €5. Yeah, it's super cheap. Might just have that for supper. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you can do with just pasta. Like, granted, you also need some other cheap thing, but there's most student meals revolve around pasta or noodles because they're cheap. Ooh, the combine's going to be full going in the right direction. Is it going to claim that it's finished? Or is it going to turn around and get the rest of the field? Al dente means not cooked right. No, al dente is the correct way to cook pasta. If you ask a chef what the correct way to cook pasta is, they will tell you al dente. So with a bit of bite in it. So it's not cooked through so that it's, you know, floppy noodles. It's cooked through that it's like soft and chewy. It's delicious. Because you can taste the starch. Toast with some Vegemite. Movie Guy Gaming, are you from Australia? Are you by any chance from Australia, Movie Guy? With your Vegemite sandwiches. How did I manage to mispronounce sandwiches? Sandwiches. Do you like the Vegemite sandwiches? From the USA. Movie Guy, I'm sorry to break it to you, but I think you might actually be Australian. What am I looking forward to most in FS19 other than deer? Honestly, this is a bit of an overarching thing with FS19, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The immersion, the new immersion features. So the wildlife, the birds, the clouds, the new texture standards that Giants are basically setting with FS19. There's other stuff as well, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. The way the tractors are going to look, the physics-based rendering, or physically based rendering, which is what PBR stands for. That's going to be amazing. So there's a lot that I'm looking forward to, and it all just falls under the overarching category of immersion, because it's something that I feel has been missing from Farm Sim for a while. is just small details, and I've been saying this throughout FS17. The small details are what is going to be the best thing in FS19, and I'm so glad Giants have the immersion thing in. As well as that, you've got the oh, this doesn't have it because it's default Giants. You'll have does by any chance this have it? I doubt it, but no. What does have it? You'll have dynamic hoses in the game by default. Cab suspension in the game by default. You know, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's in the game by default that is just currently mods that add that extra little bit of detail to tractors and stuff that I'm so glad is going to be just... Oh yeah, it's just in Farm Sim now. I'm so glad that they're falling under that category. Giants have really gone out and looked at what mods people like and just put it in the game. And that's honestly the joy of Farm Sim, the joy of having a very active farm modding community like Farm Sim does, and having developers like Giants who go out of their way and look at what mods people like. Because historically they've done this as well. They've just put very popular mods into the game straight away because it works well. It's stuff people like. People are going to look forward to it. The cynical part of me, it sells the game. You know, people will buy the game because it has this really cool former mod as the default feature. Pedro, no. No banning, Pedro. I know it's your favorite hobby, other than abusing Lewis Hamilton, but no. Ooh, Pedro! I don't think I told you yet. I'm actually going back to Watergrass Hill late next month for my birthday. I don't mind saying exactly... Oh, the helper's confused. I don't mind saying exactly where I go karting. This is about an hour from my house. But yeah, going back late next month for my birthday, and I'm going to be very happy. My viewers are crazy and offensive. And crazy offensive. Yes, Sim, that's... You can thank me for that. My community is fantastic. They troll the crap out of you constantly, and that's all I want to. Pedro's name is actually Pedro Banhammer Chaps. His middle name is literally Banhammer. I think I'm stuck in the header. Or an umbilical system would be amazing. You guys know you can mess about a bit more freely in my streams, because there are rules, but they're kind of just don't be a douchebag. Don't be a douchebag and like only come into the streams to promote yourselves or whatever. They didn't, Sim. You can unban. Hang on, TMCC, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to be using you as a crash test dummy. See, look, TMCC was banned by RainbowDave, and without hitting the undo button, TMCC was unbanned by RainbowDave. As I was talking about the rules, Nightbot put them in. That's amazing. Nightbot is like... Everything's just really on the ball with timing lately. Like yesterday when I was talking about the train on the West Coast. You are unbanned, TMCC. You were just being used with hidden. They just changed the word. It means the same thing. Oh, TMCC, I'm sorry. Sim's now using you as a crash test dummy. Did I see the antics of the bicycle racing today? No, I don't tend to watch bicycle racing. I'll probably watch bits and bobs of the Spa 24 Hours this weekend, though. That's on. I'm gonna be a happy boy. 24 hours of motor racing. GT3s as well, my favourite category. Because those things are... The balance of power in GT3 is stunningly good. Watch the news. I'll look it up on BBC's website later, because I don't like watching the news. You already accidentally used your... Yeah. Just FYI, guys. If the mods are testing something, odds are you might be used as a crash test dummy. I apologize in advance. Does he? British farmers, if the mods are testing something, the worst that'll happen is you'll get a timeout for 5 minutes because the mods wanted to test something to do with timeouts. Does that mean no stream Saturday? No, it means I'll stream. It just means that after the stream I'll go watch Spa 24. I will actually sleep Saturday night, by the way. And I'll come back and watch the end of the race, hopefully before the stream. I think Spa 24 starts before my stream. So it'll end before my stream. But I will stream Saturday and Sunday, and I will sleep Saturday night. I'll be a good girl this weekend. Le Mans is the only time that I actively want to watch the night session, because that tends to be when most of the chaos happens. Spa 24 is very difficult to watch the night session. Put myself on some pasta and a few rashers. Oh, delicious bucko. I've done that before. That was a delicious idea I had one day. There is no super ban farming, man. There is only hide, which is a ban, but YouTube renamed it to hide, and that's magic. The combine sucks up the wet texture. That's kind of amazing. Spa, you're looking forward to. It's always a good race, the Spa 24. Like, yeah, there's long code 80s, code 60s, or whatever they're using this year. But the GT3s just produce good racing. They're one of the most competitive classes of motorsports. Like, the balance of power, the guys that do that are really good at it. Because you have cars like the Ferrari, which are top speed dependent and excel with top speed. And you have cars like the Audi that are more handling based and can go through the corners faster. So while they lose out on top speed, they make up the lap time through the corners. So you can have really interesting battles with the Ferrari, you know, blasting up behind an Audi by 2-3 kilometers, 2-3 maybe 4 kilometers an hour on the straight, and then an Audi in front of it just pulling away in the corner afterwards. Like, that's fantastic racing because it's very dependent on how the driver behaves. Is this Wecker Black Pan? 24 hours of Spa's Blanc Pan endurance. It's the jewel in the crown of GT3. Well, it's the second jewel in the crown of GT3 racing. You also have the 24. Rennen van Nürburgring. Yeah, the Nürburgring 24, which is really the jewel in the crown of GT3 racing, because it's an independent race and the manufacturers just jump at the opportunity to win it. What's GT racing? Racing, basically, track-prepared road cars is what GT racing is. And they're all supercars. The current... Correct me if I'm wrong here, Pedro. The current GT3s are Ferrari 488 Italia. The McLaren... Is it the 520S they're racing this year? Or is it still the 300 series? The Mercedes SLS-AMG GT3, the Audi R8. I think, although I'm not sure that the 520 they're racing. Oh, good. Landis live? Well, in that case, I'm going to be very cheeky here. Glengarrow could one of the mods that preferably isn't Pedro and probably going to swear. Or Sim, who's probably going to grab the wrong thing. Grab the link to the breakdown of the dev blog that I did today and just spam that in chat. For those of you that want to watch that, you can go watch that. For those of you that want a bit of FSO 9, a bit of old school farm sim to see where this all came from in the beginning. Stu 1985. Answer is GT. There's a GT channel on YouTube you can watch it on. Dan, thank you. Go watch that video if you haven't done it so already. It's just my thoughts on the dev blog that came out today. You'll get my full thoughts there. It's about 18 minutes long, a bit longer than I actually anticipated. I kind of got excited by it and just kept talking. But that is going to do it for today as I keep talking again. Go watch Landy, go watch that. Go watch Landy's version of the devlog video for his thoughts. Sim's probably... No, Sim didn't. Dagoin has one as well, and I'm going to promote Dagoin because why not? Because he's just a nice guy. That's going to be it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with probably some insanity. I quite fancy doing some insanity tomorrow. Finish the bale stacking and start selling crops on there, I think, is kind of the next logical step. You don't have to... Yes, I can read it for you, Glengar. So if you can't be bothered reading the devlog, you can just put on my video and I'll read it for you. Until next time, I'll leave you by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Lone Oak Farm. Hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.